The truth of the matter is this.
Welcome.
I don't think a lot of the consuming public knows that, but that is the case.
goatforreal216.
It's just math. Just math.
The podcast.
He's a little bit savage.
Here we are again.
Hey, Sean P.
What's up, Eva B?
Not much. How are you?
Just doing the damn thing.
Yeah. What's going on today?
I don't know where I'm at.
You don't know where you're at?
I have no idea what's happening.
I think you're in a hotel in Medina.
That's not uncommon for me
and
to be
we
in a
have.
hotel.
This is family friendly,
Why
Sean.
are the blinds open?
Well, we're at our live finale episode.
We are. We're here.
Are you so excited?
I'm super stoked about it. Yeah, I think this is, again, this is a whole new, different, this is a different industry for me. I'm used to the car business and the, instant gratification and this is a little bit of a different, but you're clearly in charge of me in this world.
So before we get too far into the episode, we want to thank our number one OG sponsor, Sky Blue Credit Repair. They've been so good to us, so thank you to them. We will talk more about it later.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they are. So, Sean, what's up with this audience? I feel like you have a lot of stakes in this audience right now.
Yeah. So, I have friends, long-time friends. Decade-long friends. I got ex-spouses out here. I got people that I've worked with for years and respect and love and admire and care about. And, just a lot of people who mean a lot to me that showed up and support, and it's cool. It's good
That's
stuff.
awesome. The other thing that's in the audience is previous season guests.
Correct,
none other than Tricia and Juan, and I think we're going to put them a little bit on the spot. So, Tricia, if you will please come join us up front.
Yeah.
Everybody, yay,
Trish
Tricia.
sells cars.
Hi, Tricia.
What's going on, everybody?
How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Are you excited to be here?
I am excited. Yeah.
So Tricia was was she our third guest?
Third guest, sixth episode.
Yeah, my only sister though.
Yeah.
My only sister. So by far my favorite sister.
Right.
Yeah.
It's my favorite sister too. So.
Yeah. So what are you up to now, Trish?
I actually am getting ready to start a new gig as a finance manager at a Nissan store nearby.
Congratulations.
Ooh.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so the cool thing about my family, Eva, is that we've all migrated somehow, some way into the car business.
Yeah.
It just seems that we have a natural progression, which actually goes back, a lot of people don't know, that goes all the way back to uncles of mine that owned dealerships back in the 70s, and even before that, a grandfather who was in the car business way back in the day. And so we've all kind of, Tricia's daughter, Allie, just took a job as a sales associate here in Cleveland. So we are going to be annoying the car business for decades to come.
That's fantastic. You guys are all fantastic at it, so that's probably a really good thing.
Yeah. What's the word for, like, little tiny female goat?
I only know of a kid. Like,
Well, we're
that's
not
it.
talking about me because I'm taller than you. So
Yeah. No, I was talking about your daughter.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
Okay. All right.
But so anyway, so that's a cool thing. So yeah, Tricia's going to be a finance manager now, which is exciting for me to see her progress into the car business and into a responsibility position. And we talk every day about what she's got to do and what her responsibilities are. I think as a finance manager, Tricia can attest to it, but I don't think a lot of people in the public understand that person in the office in the back room.
What happens in the back?
We know what happens in your back room.
Ah!
I'm talking about.
We don't talk about that. It's
Actually,
a family
we
show.
don't know. I don't know. Rob? No, I'm just kidding. But truthfully, is that is. I know he's the guy who's trying to jam a warranty down your throat and explain to you why you need to have gap insurance, or otherwise your credit's going to be ruined and it's going to cost you a bunch of money. You're going to get sued and go to jail. But really, that person, which is what Tricia's going to be, is responsible for getting the house paid. They fund the deals. They talk to the lenders. They get the deals financed, yes. But talking to the bank and making sure that the funds come in, because we can all sell a car, right? None as good as me, but we can all sell one. But then you have to get paid on the deal, right? So, I mean, we can write 25 deals on a Saturday, but if 10 of them get funded, you've got 15 cars on the road that aren't paid, and it's a train wreck, and the money adds up quickly. So Tricia's going to be in a position now of a major dealership here in Cleveland where she's the backstop. She's going to be responsible for getting the dealer paid. So there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Well, Tricia, on that note, is there anything you'd like to say for our season finale?
No, I mean, good luck on your next coming season. You guys did a great job this season. I like to hear all the episodes and a lot of good information out there. I like that you're making that switch to kind of including everybody in your information that you share. So great job on that.
Yeah, I like as many people to pay attention to me as possible.
You like when people are hearing you talk.
Yeah, especially when my hair looks like this.
Right.
Did you get the cut?
Yeah, Matt hooked me up yesterday.
Nice.
This morning, actually.
Awesome.
You can tell.
It's a part of the
So, cool.
All right, well, thank you, Tricia. Let's have Juan come up.
All right. Love you.
Love you.
Yay, Tricia. Yay, Juan.
DoorDash thing was awesome, buddy.
That was great.
That was so classic. It was so classic.
So for those of you who don't remember, Juan was our wholesaling guest. He was a part of our 10th episode and our last guest of the season.
Yeah. So what's going on with you?
Still grinding, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for those of you that didn't meet Juan, so Juan's my best friend. We go back to our pretend we're going to class college days and hang out in the pod and pick up chicks. Well, he picked up chicks. I didn't. But he's in the wholesale business now. How's the wholesale business?
It's very, I mean, man, you put me on the wrong spot. The wholesale business.
I'm sorry for asking you about your business.
The wholesale business is good. Right now, with this economy, it's kind of it's a grind. You know, you have to stick with it and just, try and be the best as far as best price to get the car. And
It's tough for you
there's
because
a lot of competition.
I don't think what a lot of people understand is, so there's a different part of the wholesale business. So there's the wholesale business where your job is you buy cars for a dealership and they retail them. And that's, being a buyer. What Juan does, which I don't think that the public understands, there's a whole underbelly in the car business that goes on that can be extremely profitable, and it's dealer to dealer wholesale.
Yes.
So Juan buys, from dealers, you know what I'm saying, here locally, and then lists them online and sells on a national platform and supplies dealers all across the country with cars that he buys from local dealers here. So it sounds easy, right? Buy it here and sell it here. It's extremely tough, especially what he's alluding to is the way the car business is right now with margins getting slimmer. Guys want to buy the car cheaper. So he's got to buy the car cheaper.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? So,
And there's a lot of competition with the other guys that are doing the same thing that don't pay more just to have the car.
right. No, for sure.
I can't overpay for a car because then in the long run, I'm going to end up eating the.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Right.
get, I think, Juan, what a lot of people get. I mean, the consumers are always worried about, am I getting ripped off? Or, are they getting, ripped off? Are they paying too much? A guy like you has the same fear. I mean, if you tell a guy that the car, you'll pay him $25,000 for the car, and the market shifts and the book drops, and all of a sudden the car's worth $22,500, you're $2,500 upside down in the car.
Right.
And that goes against his personal income.
Yeah.
I mean, he eats that. So while the consumers are scared to pay too much, believe me, now Juan's not scared because he buys and sells 100 of them a month.
Right.
But you can still get caught. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think the public realizes, how scientific and methodical you have to be as a procurer of the inventory in order to supply the public with the car that they can buy at a good price.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, like I said, that goes against, Juan's income.
Right.
So
like anything, you got to make mistakes, and sometimes
you are. I don't. You're gonna make it.
Sometimes you're gonna overpay more for a car, but then you wanted that car, you have the car, but then you can move money around and and make it work.
Right. When you buy big packages of cars. I mean, you'll buy $100,000 in cars on a phone call.
Right.
So what he's saying, move money around, Eva, is, and I know you're probably somewhat aware of it, but again, I like the public.
But I can play
understand it.
stupid so the public understands. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're good at it, so.
I'm great
but,
at it.
no, you're amazing. So if you buy a package of cars for $100,000, you can move money around, meaning, okay, I think I paid too much for this, and so you can break it down and say, tell your buyer or whoever you bought it from, okay, take $1,000 off that car, put it on this car, so now I own this car better, which equates to a better deal for the public. So a lot of background stuff goes on when you procure inventory that equals the best possible deal for the consumer.
Yeah.
In a perfect world.
Correct.
Well, Juan, any final words from you for the end of our season finale?
I think this is a great show. This is very all new to me.
Yeah, it's great. It's different than what we're used to.
I just found out he was doing this just by accident, just flicking through TikTok.
Yeah.
And, I think it's great. I think that he's a natural at it. Like Sean's always
Agreed.
been very smart with and very with it. It takes a look at me. I'm up here just babbling. But
You're doing good, bro.
for him, he's a natural at it.
You're doing great.
I think that hopefully that this continues and perhaps maybe we can get on different subjects. There's so many subjects that he can get into.
Yeah.
The car business will blow your mind.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's encouraging for him.
Well, Juan, thank you so much for joining us. You can
Thank
have
you.
a seat.
Thanks for having me.
So, Sean, there's one elephant in the room that we haven't addressed yet.
That could go in so many directions. Let's go.
So what's the one thing that you make a point to bring up every episode, particularly a person that you make a point to bring up every single episode? That's never in the room, but happens to be in the room now.
Yeah. So, first of all, that person's always in the room.
Whether
he's in the room or not, because the spirit of IT Rob, the soul of IT Rob pervades just the whole podcast room. It's like a cloud of Rob that sort of like hangs over, like when you're there. Like if I ever wanted to be, and you're like my little sister, so this is somewhat gross to say this, but if I ever wanted to be inappropriate with you, like I would be afraid to, because like the cloud of Rob would know, like, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like you know a version of Rob that I've never even met before.
I think Rob and I are kindred souls. We understand that we have multiple personalities, most of which you're never going to meet. Only Rob and I know.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rob for all of his help today. He gave us these great lights. He helped me set up and dealt with all of my panics so that I was fine by the time Sean arrived. So big thanks to Rob today. But I think, Sean, that we should jump to break. What do you think?
I love breaks.
Great. Well, when we get back, we're going to take some audience questions and do some interactive lives. So we'll be back.
Gang, gang.
Holla.
So, Eva, I wanted to tell you how proud I am of you that you got your credit score up here recently.
Thank you. I did. I got a car, I got a house, and I really couldn't have done any of that had you not suggested Sky Blue.
Yeah, Sky Blue Credit Repair is the most powerful solution to dispute issues on your credit reports and improve your credit scores.
Yeah, and it was really affordable, too.
Yeah, it's only $79 a month, and they can help you identify what to dispute. They work fast, helping clean up your credit within 35 days. No upgrades, no hidden fees.
Yeah, it is really great for sure. And if anybody else would like to check them out, you can find them at goatforreal216.info or click the link in the show notes.
Holler.
Well, everybody, thank you. Welcome back to the podcast. I would like to once again thank our sponsor, Sky Blue Credit, as always. And I also want to give a shout out to Convergence Continuum. They lent us a lot of the equipment that we are using to shoot this episode. So thanks to them. Sean, do you want to explain a little bit how we're doing our questions today?
Yep, so here we go. I'm going to pick out some questions here on TikTok. We're going to get some answers. We got people firing away right now. And then, like I said, we have a live audience here, too, guys, that they are going to pick one of your questions that they would like me to answer as well. So if I don't get you, one of them may. So I'm going to go ahead and start, okay, Eva? Okay, so let's see. Chris, just out of Chapter 7 bankruptcy, how hard will it be able to get a car? Chris, not hard at all. There are a variety of lenders that specialize in fresh bankruptcies, whether you're discharged or if you just filed. The reality is today there's lenders that specialize in customers that literally, if you file bankruptcy today, I can get you approved this afternoon. As long as you have filed, you can be qualified for a car loan. They're going to want you to start off, somewhat, responsibly on a $15,000, $20,000 car, but you don't have a trade-in with negative equity because it's probably included in the bankruptcy, so you're a good risk for the lenders now. It's a good question.
Hands up. Sir, come on up, please. Ask us your question.
Hey, Mopar Monster. Question for you. Why do dealerships charge so much for servicing the vehicle?
Good question. So, so the reality is this: dealerships make more on service than sales, and the public is always so worried about how much are they making on me when I buy my car. Chris, no problem, thank you. But dealerships, the long play in the dealership is to get money in the service department. So the idea is to make a customer in the front end of the store, which is the sales part of the store, right? That's what's called the front end. But in the back end, in service, which is the fixed operations, that's where the real money is. That's where the long-term commitment is. That's where the relationship is with the customer, that can generate, years and years and years of residual income. So they may be more in reference to what you might pay a local mechanic. The hourly rate might be more, but you're also probably talking about a more qualified technician. But the reality is that facility has a higher expense structure than Joe's backyard garage or whatever the independent is. So, they have more people to support. But again, the quality of work can be a little bit higher, and it's usually backed by manufacturer as well if it's a warranty car. So, but services where dealerships make a lot of money. But yes, they can be more expensive. There's no beating around the bush with that. But that's a good question.
Okay, if you want to come back up and let us know which question we're answering.
Okay, I'm answering Eureka Springs. Do you predict the vehicle loan interest rates will continue to increase?
Yeah, I think that the Fed just raised the rate another quarter point the other day, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that it's going to trend down ever to what it was pre-COVID. So I think that you can forget about getting, 3.49. From Huntington Bank. I don't know if it's ever going to trend down that far. I don't know that it's going to raise much. I think it's going to stay steady for the next 6 months. That's my opinion. Just everything I'm reading is I think rates are going to stay steady for about 6 months. I don't think you're going to see a trend up or down. What I do think you'll see, though, for car buyers out there is I think you're going to see incentivized rates from manufacturers come out and get more aggressive as the summer selling season hits. So, more 1.9, 0.9, 2.9. So, also want to get to a couple of questions on here real quick, Eva. I don't want to leave people out.
No, you're good.
Jake says pros and cons of paying cash and no finance. So, Jake, this is a tough question because, I've never understood like the Dave Ramsey mentality, go pay cash for a car. Nobody can ever make me understand, Jake, good question though, why it makes sense to take $20,000 of your hard-earned money that you've saved and go buy an asset that tomorrow is worth 19. Nobody's ever going to talk me into taking 20,000 and turning it into 19. So I don't understand the whole paying cash thing when you're buying an asset that literally depreciates every single day. So you're like literally burning your money that you've saved. What I would do if it was me is I would borrow somebody else's money at a very low interest rate. I would put that $20,000 in an interest-bearing account that makes me money, and I would pay the interest with the interest that I'm making. So that way my cash stays liquid. But again, to me, the pros and cons are, the pros are that you borrow somebody else's money very cheap, and you keep your money in the bank for emergencies or vacations or, whatever it is you want to do. So that's a good question though.
Great, hands up. Come on up.
Let's see who's next here.
Hello, my name is Noah, and
Hey Noah.
hi. My question is, have you ever had a Bentley before?
A what?
A Bentley.
A Bentley? Have I ever had a Bentley before? So yes, I have had a Bentley before. Bentley's a very good, very, very cool car. I had a Bentley Continental GT, and it was amazing. Good question.
Did you drive it out?
Yes, my very spoiled ex-wife drove it. Yeah.
Great. If you want to come back up and let us know which question you picked.
You have you got a TikToker? Who should I answer?
Gray. What's the average horsepower for a Porsche?
Yeah, I mean, it's too tough to tell. There's so many different makes and models of a Porsche, so it depends on what the model is. I mean, I really can't answer that because you could go from a Carrera to a Boxster to a Cayenne to a Cayman, so I'd have to know a little bit more about the make and model. But if you come up with a certain make or model, Bray, I'll be glad to answer it. If I don't know it, I'm just going to Google it.
Do you want to take another question?
Yeah, let's take another question here real quick. So, Big Poppy, he's a top fan. Thank you, Big Poppy. 45-year-old guy, 50K job, absolutely no credit to speak of. How do you get financing? So, no credit to speak of, $50,000 a year. So, Big Poppy, if you've been there any amount of time, you have stability, and you're going to budget for about a $500 car payment. You're going to want to basically, my suggestion to you would be to start out at a local credit union in your area. They lend a little friendlier. They're not so, they're not as strict, and they don't have as many restrictions on who they can approve. It's more relationship-based lending. But my thing with you, with that kind of income, Capital One Auto Navigator. Jump on and get a pre-approval. There's no hard inquiry to your credit. It's a soft pull, and they like first-time buyers that make good money. So Big Poppy C, I would jump on Capital One Auto Navigator, get a pre-approval.
Awesome. Hands up. Allie?
Hello, I'm Allie. I'm the little baby female goat.
Hi, baby guy, Allie.
What is your advice for somebody starting out in the car business?
That's a good question. So first starting out in the car business, and if there's anybody on here, TikTokers, new people, I always see people in here just starting out in the car business. I can't give you all the advice that I have because we have a time limit. The one piece of advice I can give you is this. Do not get caught up in the coffee crew. Do not get caught up in the old cronies sitting in the corner that are, complaining about management, complaining about ownership, complaining about the customers. The first thing you have to have is a positive mental attitude if you're going to be successful in sales. If you're going to get caught up with those guys smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee, complaining about everybody, it's just a matter of time before you're going to become one of them. And that's going to, that's going to come out. That's going to seep out of your pores when you're talking to a customer, that you're not a person who's upbeat and who has a positive mental attitude. But it drains your energy too. So if you're a new salesperson in the car business, Allie, it's a great question. Do not fall into the crybaby crew. And they want you. Trust me.
They'll search
they want
for you
in there. Yeah. So you have to run with the winners. Find a veteran. Find somebody who's successful. And in your free time, instead of smoking cigarettes with the old guys who are complaining, post on Facebook.
Nice. Do you want to
Good
come up
question.
and tell us which question you picked?
All right. Alice asked, if you have negative equity, is it best to trade in for a finance or a lease?
That's a good question. So, Alex, your question is if you have negative equity, finance or lease. You can go both ways with it. So the negative equity is, a lot of people think it's not going to hurt you as much in a lease, but the reality is you're in a shorter term. So if you have 5,000 negative equity, you're taking that and you're smashing it into 36 months as opposed to 72 or 84 months on a finance. And the reality is the bank is going to absorb the negative equity a little bit better on a finance as well. They're going to give you a higher loan to value if you have, average to good credit. That you can take that negative equity and soak it into your new car loan. So I would say a loan is probably better for hiding negative equity. The other thing is that if you're buying a brand new car and you're trying to hide that negative equity, a lot of the incentives like dealer cash or customer cash are on purchases, not leases. So, you could have 5,000 negative equity, but there might be $2,500 customer cash back from the manufacturer on a buy. So that soaks up 2,500 of it for you. So now you're only rolling 2,500. Take that over 72 months. That's a lot better than rolling 5,000 into 36 months. So I would say a purchase, and I would look for a car that's got a manufacturer incentive on it.
Do you want to take another?
Yeah, I'd like
live?
to get another question in here. Is it worth to bring a trade in if you know you will get a loan? Is it better to sell it yourself? It's always better to sell it yourself. It's not even a question. If you have the patience and you have another vehicle, mode of transportation, there's absolutely no excuse today to not sell it yourself. Get an offer online from one of the many companies out there that'll just come pick it up from your house. But selling it online is always going to net you at least 25 to 30% more. Now, the only thing you have to be careful of, people don't take into consideration, is if you're buying a new car and you're in a state where you get the tax credit, if you don't trade it into the dealership, you don't get the tax credit, which means you pay tax on the full amount instead of the difference. So, but 9 times out of 10, sell the car yourself. Now you have to be willing to put up with the BS. I mean, people are going to come to your house. People are going to want to come test drive it. People are going to ask you if they can pay in chickens and goats. People are going to ask you if you'll take payments. But if you're willing to put up with the BS, selling it outright, put it on Facebook Marketplace or Auto Trader Private Marketplace, it's always going to get you more money. So, but that's a good question. Thank you. User 644-426-0021.
Hands up.
Yes.
Come on up.
Hi, I'm Tricia. My question is, what determines the term of your loan, and should I ever go less than the dealership is recommending?
Yeah, so that's a good question. A lot of people don't understand term. Everybody can talk about interest rates and this, that, and the other, but a lot of people don't understand how term affects you. So term is going to be based primarily on the year of the car first. So like right now, anything 2019 and newer, you're going to be able to get 72 months for the most part. So the year of the vehicle, the miles on the vehicle would be second. You know, a bank's not going to give you 72 months on a 120,000 mile car. You know, they understand that within 24 or 36 months, there's a good chance that car's probably not, you know, going to be running anymore, you know, or you know, you're going to be looking to trade it. So so you're usually talking year of the car first, miles on the car, and then your credit history. If you are a somewhat of a medium to high risk customer credit wise, the lender's going to want to shorten the term to minimize their risk on you and minimize their exposure. If you have really good credit, the bank will take as much money as you'll give them for as long as they'll take it, as long as you'll give it to them. But term plays a big part in the payment. But you know, always try to stay in a car that's 3 years or current if you need to get 72 or 84 months in order to get a lower payment.
Okay, if you want to come back up with your question.
All right, and Suppa Mario says, where do you buy the majority of your cars?
So I buy the majority of my cars from private owners. So the company that we have now is a private owner acquisition company. So I get on social media, TikTok, you know, I'm not going to name the other ones. I don't want to get in trouble, but so I purchase most of my vehicle across the country from private owners who contact me and want to sell their car. And I get called from local dealerships as well that want to sell inventory that doesn't work for them. So combination and occasionally an auction. So, you know, 3 sources, but mainly private owners.
You want to take another
Yeah, I'm
live?
going to get on here. So you're welcome. Somebody said thanks for taking my question. Let's see. Michael James. Well, I have to put more money down on my new Ram that's financed when the lease is over. No, if you're a lease customer, Michael, there's a good chance that you're a good credit customer. They're going to finance that residual lease buyout value for you with 0 down, as long as you continue to be a good credit customer. So no, when you go to buy the car out, you're not going to need any money down, especially leasing it now. Your residual value right now is much lower than the car's worth, so you're going to have a good loan to value situation. So the bank's not going to be scared. You're going to have good credit, and you're going to be in the car right, so you shouldn't need any money down. That's a good question.
Does anyone else in the audience have any questions? All right, let's take about 5 minutes worth of live questions.
Okay, we're going to take some questions on here. Good. Oh, there's Frankfurt. Yeah, I hope that helped you. Let's see. Thoughts on leasing a Honda Ridgeline? Always lease with Honda, period, end of story. See Shulman 23. Lease it, period. They always have great lease programs. What else do we have on here? Frankfurt, he said, bro, don't answer comments. I just answered you. That's all right. I think that was before I answered you. I think that's before I answered you. Can you please put your sorry in there now, Frankfurt? I'm just playing. Sorry, I'm trying to do. This is a great question. I love this one. Not really. I'm being sarcastic. Noreen Boyd 512. Down payment is against the law. Correct. Oh my God. Please go to my profile and watch my videos.
Please.
I assure you that every car transaction that has gone on in the United States for the last 50 years, millions of transactions were not against the law. I promise you that TV stations aren't allowing manufacturers to roll commercials that include illegal activity, like when they say with 1,000 down and the payment is this. I promise you their legal R&D teams made sure that wasn't illegal to say. I know that this is a cool thing to say on TikTok right now because somebody posted on something that they read in Section 50C19. Guys, that was a bylaw that was written about buy here, pay here deals. It has nothing to do with regular finance. Down payment is not against the law. Otherwise, we would have about 10 million car transactions that would be fully rescindable right now by all the state attorney generals and all of the people that bought cars in the last 50 years that put money down, all the salesmen that sold it, all the dealerships that promoted the salesperson, and all the banks that financed it would all be in prison. It's not against the law.
I think we'd both be in prison at this point.
I understand that you saw that somewhere on TikTok. I get it. Please don't believe everything you see on TikTok, unless I said it. If I say it, you can believe it. Period. It's not against the law. And please stop believing all that stuff. If I have Ashley, top fan. Hi, Ashley. If I have bad credit, my fiance puts the car under his name. Am I able to be a co-signer with him? Yeah, I mean, that's an if. I mean, if he has strong enough credit, there are situations where if your co-signer has strong enough credit, you can not have good credit and still get on there. But you also don't want to get a situation where putting you on there drags the loan down so bad that now you have bad loan terms. So, you gotta, every situation's different, Ashley. I would say, if you have any repossessions or anything like that in the last 2 years, I would not get on the loan. I think it's going to hurt the loan situation. If you just don't have any credit or you got a few bad credit cards, yeah, jump on there and build your credit. But there are other ways to build your credit with, secured credit cards and stuff like that, and give yourself a little bit of time. But with some variables in there, yes, you can get on there.
One or two more?
Yeah, I'll take a couple more on those. Let's see. You're welcome, Ashley. GMC Jake, my guy, how are you? He's always on our stuff. Hi, Jake. What do you think is the best LTV percentage to decline or ignore gap insurance? 60%. 60% is what the lender's going to say. So if a finance manager tries to sell you gap insurance and you're only financing 59% of the J.D. Power trade-in value, the lender actually won't allow you to sell it. So now, if from a consumer side, if you're financing over 95% LTV, then gap is something to consider. You buy it from the dealer or buy it from your insurance company. It doesn't matter. But you got to remember, you're financing trade-in value at the point you finance the car. The car depreciates. So it's 95% today, but in 2 years, because you can't pay the car as quick as it depreciates, you might be at 105% loan to value. So your insurance company might say, we're going to pay 100%. You're liable for the rest. So for a couple dollars a month, it's not a bad investment. I don't believe in all the products, but gap insurance is one that I've seen save some people.
This is a good one. We don't get asked questions about this a lot. Jasmine Nalario asked advice for a new
Ashley gave me
BDC
the
manager.
mic. Ashley gave me the mic. Thanks, Ashley. Love you. Say it again.
So
Ashley.
Jasmine Nalario asked advice for a new BDC manager. We don't get too many questions like that.
Advice for a new BDC manager. You're in a tough spot. You're going to be challenged by the salespeople. They hate you, I promise. You're going to try to come in and you're going to make them accountable. A very, very, very close friend of mine took over a store, and what can happen is, you're going into a culture where they're used to doing things a certain way, and it might be working for them. Just because the dealer doesn't think so or their manager doesn't think so, for the salesperson, it's working. I do this, and last month I made this. Okay, so for that person, everything is fine. So now you're going to come in and you're going to try to challenge them to do better, maybe ask them to change their process. It's a slippery slope. My best advice that I could give you would be to come in soft. Come in soft and just watch. Don't go in promising the dealer that you're going to make all kinds of changes and you're going to up the closing percentage by 15% and the gross is going to go up by 22% and the show ratio is going to go up by 30%. Don't go in and make any promises. You need to go in for about 2 weeks and shut up and just watch the store and see what already works. That's what a lot of new managers forget is, being a manager isn't about coming in and imposing your will. It's about deciding what's already working and what you need to improve on to make the overall team better. They might be doing a bunch of stuff right. So you want to go change the things that they're doing right? I don't think that you should do that. You should sit back and decide, that kind of works. Why don't I just let them do that for right now? But I do think maybe we could tweak this. And if you go in like that, thank you, Nick Jones. And if you go in like that, I think that the sales associates will accept you better. And then once they respect you and see that you're on their side, now you can impose some things with their support instead of battling. So go in soft.
All right, let's take one last question.
Cougar Bush, I always come in soft. Stop. Good comment. Good comment. Love it.
One last question.
Yeah. Oh, okay. One last. Let's see. Jasmine, you're welcome. Let's see. I bought a clean 2004. This is user, lots of numbers after it. I bought a clean 2014 4Runner Limited for $25K with $140,000 or 140,000 miles. Did I do bad? Yeah, I don't think you did great. I'm just being honest with you. I hate to say that. I mean, I know 4Runners are bulletproof. Things going to last forever. I understand. But in my opinion, I think that you paid retail plus for the car. But people are paying retail plus for cars right now. Can you block the person who's asking the weird questions?
I missed it. I'm sorry.
Thank you. That's all right. Chase Mason, one more. This is a good one. I have a Chase Mason. I have a paid off 2018 Camry, 100,000 miles. What should I do? Go to CarMax.com. You sell the car outright. Go on CarMax. Sell the car outright. That car is absolute gold right now. Those cars bring all the money. Sell the car in the open market. Take half of it, put it away. Use the rest as a down payment on the new car. Daddy Dom. I like that. It's my kind of crowd. It's my kind of crowd tonight. New car acquisition manager here. Any tips or advice? You're the boss. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. You tell me what to do. You tell me what to do. I don't know. No, Daddy Dom. New used car acquisition manager here.
I got too excited.
New used car manager. Can I answer the Dom, dude? He's going to get mad at me.
I can't all right.
Oh my God. Put the whip away. So, I'm getting to it, Daddy. Hold on. Text me. I don't know what to tell you. No. Any advice or tips? New car acquisition manager. Any advice or tips? Yes. Pull the last 24-month sales history. See what that store sells good. They already have 4 or 5 models that they sell good, and they don't even know that they sell good. Ask for the 24-month previous sales history, and you put it into an Excel spreadsheet, arrange it by gross and volume, and find your 4 or 5 top models that store just naturally sells good, whether it's because of the staff or the zip code that you're in or whatever. And then put those cars on a watch list on Manheim. So if the average car that they sell good, if the number one car is a 2019 Nissan Sentra with 50,000 miles, go into Manheim, set up your alerts. Any 2019 Sentra with 50,000 miles or less that comes up in Manheim within 500 miles, boom, you should get an email on and click to buy it now. Do that first. Again, look what's already working in the store. Don't come in and change everything. Look what they sell good naturally, and then start to work in the stuff that you think you want to take a shot on with them. So that would be my best advice.
All right, you want to end it out?
End it out. What's that mean?
End the live.
End the live?
Yep.
Okay, can I answer one more question? Hold on, one more.
One more.
One more, and then we're going to go. Daddy Dom, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you, Daddy Dom.
Okay, let's see. Anything else? Just a tip. Yep, let's see. I love it. Okay, Billy Bob. I owe $15K on a Corolla worth $18K. I pay 11% interest. Should I sell or refinance? So you owe $15K on a car that's worth $18, pay 11%, sell or refinance. Sell it. Sell it. Take the equity and buy something else, and you're going to get a better rate. If you've been paying that 11% loan and for good, your credit's better than it was when you got it. So take the $3,000 equity, put it down on another car. You'll be in a good loan to value situation. Your rate probably goes from 11 to 8%, assuming that you paid the car good. So, all right, guys, I got to get out of here. Eva's giving me a weird look. Thanks for all the questions. DM me. Thanks. Follow me on all the socials and everything. Thanks for being in the live. Good night.
Well, those are some great questions, and we finally found a Dom for our subs, so.
Oh, my God. It's perfect.
It's perfect. Thank you also to everyone in our lovely audience for all of your questions and picking our questions in the live. Anything else you got, Sean, before we start closing out this episode?
No, I don't think so. I mean, that was fun, and again, I just love it. It warms my heart to be able to answer questions for real consumers out there who have genuine questions, and I feel blessed to be able to just have some kind of knowledge that I can help people, better their situation. It's just amazing to me that it's just awesome. I love it.
You do spit the facts every time. Really quick before we go, I do want to just let everybody know that this is our season finale for the first season of our podcast. But so we're going to have a little bit of a break. We're going to be on a 3-week break, but we do have 2 bonus episodes coming. So it's not like we're going to be gone. We're just not going to be actively recording. And finally, we can officially announce that the premiere of the season 2 of the Goat for Real podcast is Wednesday, June 14th. So please be on the lookout. Make sure that you are subbed on all platforms and following. If you haven't already, please rate and review, because that helps us everywhere and lets us know if you're enjoying the content, what more you want to see. And last but not least, we want to once again thank our OG sponsor, Sky Blue Credit Repair. They've been supporting us from the beginning and will be continuing to do so.
Did you even take a breath?
Nope.
That was fairly amazing. I'm going to be honest with you.
Listen, I'm a great talker, so
That's what Rob says.
Listen, Rob says a lot of things, but you don't need to know
We
about
don't need
that.
to go there. So, all right. So we're good. I mean, are we?
I think
are
we're
we
good.
Gucci?
We're Gucci.
We're Gucci. All right. I had a great time. Thanks everybody for coming out. I appreciate it. All you guys who have been here, and we're just gonna, we're gonna keep doing the damn thing, right?
Yeah.
Gang, bitch.
All right, I'll see you on the other side.
Hey, Goat Army, thank you so much for listening. We really, really appreciate all the support.
And we would like to thank our sponsor for this week's episode. Your support means a ton.
Now, you can find me across all social media at goatforreal216. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. For additional info, you can check out my bio page, www.goatforreal216.info. Now, when you go to those socials, please do me a quick favor. Make sure you hit the like, follow, and subscribe buttons.
And you can find me across all social media at Evolutionary Productions, including Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. For additional info, you can check out www.evolutionaryproductions.com or www.evabrettrager.com. And just like Sean P. said, please make sure to like, follow, and subscribe.
Yeah, leave us ratings, reviews on your preferred streaming platforms. And listen, guys, please be honest. Listen, this podcast is not going to be effective if we don't reach the right audience and you don't tell us what it is you want from our content. Be honest, please.
And subscribe there as well. Additionally, for exclusive content, be sure to join us on Patreon, which gives you access to our secret Discord.
We love secrets.
Yes, we do.
Holler.
Holla.
The Goat for Real 216 podcast is produced by Goat for Real 216 and Evolutionary Productions. Copyright 2023, all rights reserved. No part of this podcast can be reused or reproduced without written express consent from all parties. For information, please contact Evolutionary Productions directly at evolutionaryproductions@gmail.com. Holla!